I'm one of the co-founders of the Bounties Network. We very much focus on incentivizing and organizing action. We've been live on the Ethereum mainnet since the end of 2017 and have been working to expand the use of bounties and the use of blockchain across different populations, different communities, different verticals. For anybody who doesn't know what bounties are, it's very, very simple. They are, they've been around for many centuries. They're basically rewards offered by an individual or an organization for the completion of a task. We've put these on-chain, which means you can basically collaborate from anywhere. We are a protocol as well as an explorer. Some of the projects, one of the key projects that sits on top of our protocol, for instance, is Gitcoin. You might have heard about them, but we also have a general explorer, which is the Bounties Explorer, that encompasses a lot more verticals aside just development or developer tasks. We're token agnostic, so any ETH or ERC20 token uses. What we've been experimenting with a lot have been really diversifying, again, the use of bounties across different verticals. So we do a lot of design bounties, music, art, social impact, and of course, development. This is what it looks like. We won the DevCon UX Award last year in Prague, and it was basically because we completely redesigned our interface based on feedback from our users. It is fully responsive on mobile, so we work with a lot of the mobile wallets, and a lot of our bounties are actually created and fulfilled on mobile. It's almost around the 51% mark, so really moving that towards a more kind of flexible experience. And of course, you can see there's filtering, there's a lot of category work, there's a lot of, again, moving a Web3 product towards something that is very much a seamless experience for users. So when we launched, we obviously had the standard bounties protocol that went live in 2017, and it was time for us to upgrade and really include a lot more into standard bounties 2.0, which is what we're working on at the moment. We completed the security audit on it, so we will be launching it hopefully by the end of this month. You can, as part of that standard, you'll be able to edit bounties. It wasn't something that you were able to do before. We'll have NFT rewards as well, which again, was not possible, and we are introducing meta transactions. One of the key things that obviously a barrier to adoption for a lot of decentralized applications is gas. And we have had it with our users. We've had to send a lot of users enough ETH for gas for them to complete their first bounty. But we are very much going to look at abstracting that and hopefully making this adoption business a lot easier. I wanted to give you an example because we always have a lot of talk and not necessarily a lot of examples about Web3 products in the wild, but this is one of them. We created the bounties for the oceans around World Ocean Day last year, and it was in partnership with MakerDAO. We wanted to see what would happen if we incentivized people around the world to complete verifiable cleanups, whether it was on a beach, on a riverbank, in a street, whatever. And really shift that model of charities asking individuals for money and then the individuals kind of hoping that the charities are going to do whatever it is they say they're going to do, and looking at dispersal of funds in a very transparent manner. So we launched this. We then we started getting submissions from everywhere, and so we created a pilot in the Philippines because we thought, okay, so it works in the States, it works in Western Europe, and so on. Let's see what happens in the Philippines, and maybe with a larger group of people. We worked across 2 days, about two and a half hours per day, because it got too hot. We couldn't really let people work for a lot longer than that. We essentially collected 3.3 tons of trash. We had 200 people there. Out of the people who had smartphones, and it was not everybody did, but the ones that did, we onboarded them onto wallets. They completed the bounty, and the bounty is still live, and some of those people who came are actually still fulfilling it. So the mechanism of and the potential of a new means of income is there, and it works, which is essentially what we wanted to prove. But let me show you a little bit about what that looked like.
The trash issue really is impacting people's lives.
Garbage everywhere.
Pupunta dito ang tao para mangingisda. Pag-uwi, wala rin naman makuha dahil lahat ng basura napupunta sa dagat ang kalat.
What happens when a traditional job like fishing stops being sustainable? You need to create new means of income. You need to create alternatives.
Incentives are behavior changing. If you're able to channel that, you're going to be able to mobilize a lot of people.
Ang ginagawa namin is hindi para sa amin, hindi para sa next future or generation.
We saw that monetary incentives were a great way to get people on the ground, but now that they're here, they actually can look past those incentives and really feel the intrinsic motivation.
So the two things I want to mention about that, because you saw two other gentlemen with three other gentlemen, the other, one of them is my co-founder. But coins.ph helped us make sure that the people who were on the ground and they needed to exchange the ETH into fiat could, because that was incredibly important for us, instead of just going, hey, here's internet money, you can't do anything with it, yeah? And the other person who you saw talking about the future generation is a guy called Ronald, who runs a recycling plant near the beach that we cleaned up. And so it was, again, very important for us to make sure that all the trash that we cleaned, those 3 tons, were not just going to end up back on the beach. So they took care of moving the trash, segregation, and then the recycling of that plastic. The key model here is that this is a sustainable way to deploy funds somewhere in a community that wasn't necessarily on the grid before. So yeah, check out the other bounties that we have up on the Explorer, and get in touch if you have ideas on how to employ bounties and what you're doing. Thank you so much.